God promised Abraham and his wife Sarah a son, Isaac, in their old age. Isaac was the heir of God's covenant with Abraham, through whom all nations would be blessed. God tested Abraham's faith by telling him to sacrifice Isaac on Mount Moriah. Abraham obeyed God and took Isaac, 2 servants, and a donkey to the place God showed him. He left the servants behind and went up the mountain with Isaac, carrying the wood and the fire for the sacrifice. Isaac asked his father where the lamb was for the sacrifice, and Abraham said that God would provide it. Abraham built an altar, bound Isaac, and laid him on the wood. He was about to kill his son when an angel of the Lord stopped him and said that he had passed the test. Abraham looked up and saw a ram caught in a thicket by its horns. He took the ram and offered it as a burnt offering instead of his son. The angel of the Lord called to Abraham again and confirmed God's promise to bless him and his descendants because of his obedience. The story of Abraham and Isaac shows us how much God values faith and obedience. Abraham trusted God even when he did not understand his plan or purpose. He was willing to give up his most precious possession, his son, for God's sake. The story also foreshadows God's own sacrifice of his Son, Jesus Christ, for our salvation. God provided a substitute for Isaac, but he did not spare his own son from the cross. Jesus died as the Lamb of God who takes away the sin of the world. The story challenges us to examine our own faith and obedience to God. Are we willing to follow God's commands, even when they seem difficult or unreasonable? Are we willing to surrender everything we have and love to God? Are we grateful for God's provision and promise in our lives?